Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. This is Adventure 2.2, Level 2, Scenario 2. We're at the Scorched Obelisk with the character Drelm, where at this location, when you succeed at a check to defeat a Bane by 4 or more, you are dealt 1d4 electricity damage. Alright, so we will go ahead and we will start off advancing the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Wadjet. And the first item we get is a Burglar's Buckler. Constitution, Fortitude, Disable. Okay, Drelm has a Disable of Wisdom +2. Alright, so we'll go ahead and see if we can get this card. So it's D8, 5, 6, 7. Alright, awesome. We get the Burglar's Buckler. We will add that to our hand. We have a variety of weapons in our hand, so we're going to go ahead and discard one, resetting at Drelm's hand, and we will end the turn. Exploring or advancing the Blessings deck, unfortunately we get the Curse of Daybane. While displayed at the start of your turn, if the top card of the Blessings discard pile has the basic trait, you may explore this turn only if you play a card or use a power that allows you to do so. So Drelm does gain that curse. He no longer has the remove curse spell. He decided to keep that new loot he gained last adventure, which does dispel curses. But as it is, Drelm cannot explore this turn unless the top card of the Blessings discard pile does not have the basic trait. So fortunately, it's the Blessing of Wadjet from last turn. So we can go ahead and explore, and we get a Blessing of Matt. Okay, this is a pretty awesome spell. Divine 6 check, which is D8 +3. So unfortunately we do not get that blessing. It's a pretty cool blessing. I think Drelm already has one in his deck though. So looking at the hand, it's great. We will go ahead and advance the Blessings deck, which is a Blessing of Matt. So due to the Curse of Daybane, we are able to explore this turn. Alright, and we get the villain, Deka and Karet. So what's interesting about this villain is that she's a barrier. So we have to do an Intelligence Knowledge 14 or Charisma Diplomacy 16. So unfortunately Drelm really doesn't have a lot of options. The Intelligence or Knowledge aspect, so we have this Spear of the Watchful Guardian, which allows us to do perception checks, but that's not going to help us out here. So intelligence or knowledge. Well, Drelm's intelligence is a measly D6. His charisma diplomacy is also a measly D6. And we do not have the right amount of cards in our hand. Wow. So it says here, if undefeated, succeed at a wisdom or divine 8 check or suffer the scourge curse of fever dreams. Well, the nice thing about barriers is that barriers don't do damage to you. So what's going to happen is that it looks like Drelm is just going to flat out auto-fail this check. But he can try to succeed at the Wisdom or Divine 8 check, which he has a much better chance of doing. So with that second check, he will go ahead, and it says here, when you succeed at a check. Okay, so we did not succeed our check to defeat this Bane. So we don't have to worry about the Scorched Obelisk. We are using a Blessing of the Elements on this Divine 8 check. So 2d8 +3. So we do succeed at that check, so we do not have to suffer the Scourge Curse of Fever Dreams, which is pretty amazing. So what we're going to do is we will shuffle that villain back into the deck. That does end our turn, unfortunately. So, that's going to be a very challenging villain for Drelm. Roll a d10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to see which card is on top of the location deck. Alright, well that will end Drelm's turn. We will reset Drelm's hand, and we will advance the Blessings deck, which is a Blessing of the Ancients. Since it is a Blessing of the Ancients, and we have a Curse of Daybane, we can't explore this turn unless we use an item which would allow us to do so. And unfortunately, we don't have any items that will allow us to do so. So Drelm is going to reset his hand. He's going to toss 3 cards because he's going to need cards that are going to allow him extra explorations. So resetting Drelm's hand, which is all done. We are now going to advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Pharasma, so we can explore. But before we explore, so we have Hand of the Honest Man in our hand right now. We can bury this card to banish a displayed card that has a curse trait. So it says you may succeed at a Wisdom or Divine 8 check to recharge this card again. So we really want to recharge a card, but we don't have any blessings in our hand. We're going to use it. We are going to get rid of Curse of Daybane. We're going to banish that card. And now we're going to see if we can recharge this card instead of having to bury it. So it's a straight up D8. And we get to add 3 to this roll. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. So we get to recharge the Hand of the Honest Man. Alright. Well, that was some good news there. And since we banished that curse, we are... So we banished the curse, but the Curse of Daybane still said that at the start of your turn. So it's the start of your turn effect, but fortunately it is still a Blessing of Pharasma there, so we are able to explore. Alright, we get this animal, Cold Elite creature. So immune to the cold and fire trait. So before you act, so we have to do that, we must succeed at a Wisdom 6 check or recharge 1d4 cards. Okay, so Drelm's Wisdom is a straight up 1d8. Nothing else we can do with that. Okay, so we do roll a 1. So we have to recharge 1d4 cards. Okay, let's go ahead and see what happens. Alright, so we have to recharge 2 cards. It's a bit of a nuisance. We are going to recharge. We're going to go ahead and recharge 2 of these cards. We're going to recharge a weapon and an ally. So we'll do that. And to defeat this character, we're going to go ahead and use our Death Grip spell. It's going to be Divine Skill plus 2d8, and we get to ignore any non-villain monster's power that happens after you act. So we don't have to deal with this after you act effect. So, rolling for Death Grip, 2d8, actually it's 3d8 plus 3. So, yes, we readily defeat the animal called Elite Bane. So that's pretty cool. So this Bane is banished. We're going to roll to see if we recharge this card. We need a Divine 10 check. So D8 plus 3. Nope, didn't quite do it. The Death Grip spell. It's a pretty awesome spell. It is in our discard pile now. We're going to have to reset Drelm's hand. Let's see. The Scorched Obelisk. When you succeed at a check to defeat a Bane by 8 or more. So that was definitely 4 or more. So we do have to suffer the 1d4 electricity damage. Wow, how about that? So we take 3 points. There's only 1 card left in our hand. The Spear of the Watchful Guardian, and it is discarded. Okay, so the Scorched Obelisk strikes. So resetting our hand, we have 5 cards now. And we're going to advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of the Ancients. We don't have any curses to deal with, which is very nice. And we get our villain. She's back. Okay, so we have to do she's a human cleric aristocrat. So once again, we can do the intelligence knowledge or charisma diplomacy. So, intelligence wisdom, intelligence shucks. Let's see. It's very, because right now Drelm has in his hand the Speak with the Dead spell. But the way I'm playing that is that he has to defeat a monster, then cast the spell. So let me know if you think I'm playing that right. But as it is, we have a Blessing of Pharasma in our hand. So we could do the charisma. We just have 2d6 and 2d6. So 6 and 6 is 12. Whether our intelligence or knowledge. So actually, or we have actually no way really of defeating this Bane. It's kind of sad. So what's going to happen is that it is going to be an auto fail. We don't take any damage, but we can still make that Wisdom or Divine 8 check. So we want to make that Wisdom or Divine 8 check, and here's where we're going to use our Blessing of Pharasma. So 2d8, we don't want to suffer the Curse Scourge of Fever Dreams. So we roll a 6, 7, Wisdom or Divine. So we're doing our Divine check, which is +3. So we don't have to suffer the Curse of Fever Dreams. She does get shuffled back into the location deck, which is kind of annoying. So we really need to defeat a monster so we can use the Speak with the Dead spell. Rolling a d8 to see which card is on top, which is that one. Okay, we got a little bit of a strategy here. What we want to do is we want to toss that card and reset our hand. Actually, you know what? We don't want to toss that card. Before we reset our hand, we're going to use the Scarab Buckler to bury it, to shuffle some cards from our discard pile. So we need to do that. So before we reset the hand, we're using the Scarab Buckler to shuffle 3 random cards back into our deck. So shuffling my discard pile and seeing which cards go back into our deck. So we're going to get the Death Grip spell, Armor, and the Blessing of Pharasma back into our deck. Okay, that's awesome. So the Scarab Buckler was very useful there. So that is benefited, or beneficial, I should say. Okay. So now what we're going to do is now we will reset Drelm's hand after using the Scarab Buckler. Okay. Now we will advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Thoth. Okay, and she's back. Alright, well unfortunately, once again, there's no way we can defeat this villain. There's no trigger. We have a Vomit Clansman, not going to help. We have okay, so what we're going to do is we have to succeed at a Wisdom or Divine 8 check. And unfortunately, with everything we have in our hand, that's going to be an auto fail. So there's no way we can defeat this villain. So what happens is that we gain the Curse of Fever Dreams. So this villain in the Scorched Obelisk is just laughing at us right now. So that, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, if you don't defeat the villain, I would assume that ends your turn. So that's how I'm going to play. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 cards left in the location deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 6 is on top. We have the Curse of Fever Dreams. So when displayed, after you reset your hand, we have to recharge cards. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're not going to reset. Well, we really should reset our hand because we can't defeat that villain, but we're not. So it says after you reset your hands, recharge your hand, then draw 1d4 plus 1 cards. Okay, so actually we have no choice. We have to reset our hand, so we basically lose all these cards. Then we're going to draw back up to our hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it says, oh, I'm sorry. We don't draw back up to our hand size. So we reset our hand, and we recharge 1d4, and then draw 1d4 plus 1 card. Okay, so we rolled a 1, so we only get to draw 2 cards. Okay, that really sucks. Okay, advancing the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Bastet. Fortunately, Drelm was able to pick, well, you see, this is interesting. It's the Hand of the Honest Man. So we actually, this is what's going to help us defeat the villain. But we also want to bury this card to banish the Curse of Fever Dreams. Wow, how about that? So I guess we're just going to keep the Hand of the Honest Man, because in our hand right now we have the Hand of the Honest Man and we have the Falcata. We're still able to do an exploration, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so it's a Lightning Storm spell. Okay, so we just go ahead and display the lightning storm by the location. So then while displayed, after you reset your hand, we have to recharge your hand. So we have to draw 5 cards. Then we have to reset them all. But I guess before we reset them all, yeah, we'll reset them. The hand of the honest man, we wanted to keep that. But we are going to then roll a d4 to see how many cards we get. So we get 3 cards this time. So we get a total of 3 cards in our hand. And now we are going to advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of the Ancients. We have a Lightning Storm spell we have to deal with, or a Lightning Storm barrier. So we rolled a 1. So we have to take 1 point of electricity damage. We can use the armor to recharge that, so we don't have to take that damage. But the barrier still stays there. We're going to explore, and we get alchemical gas. So it's an intelligence disabled craft. Well, Drelm has disable wisdom +2, which is what we're going to do. So it's an intelligence check too. We could use our embalmer, and he's going to allow us to use the 1d4, and Drelm's intelligence is 1d6. So we could either do the possible 10. We're actually going to do that. We're going to recharge the embalmer. We're going to try an intelligence check. We're going to see how smart Drelm is. And we rolled a 3, 4, 5. Well, we needed a 7. Well, that turned out to be a mistake. So we have to display this barrier next to your location. Okay, so it's a start of your turn effect. We'll deal with that later. But as it is, we have to deal with the Curse of Fevered Dreams. So we reset our hand by drawing 5 cards. Then what we do is after we reset our hand, we have to recharge our hand. And then we are going to draw 1d4 plus 1 cards, so we get to roll 3, or get to draw 3 cards this time. Okay, interesting. And now what we're going to do is we're going to advance the Blessings deck, which is the last card in the Blessings deck. And we have to first deal with a Lightning Storm spell, or Lightning Storm event. Okay, sweet. We roll a 4, it's banished. But we still have to deal with this alchemical gas. While displayed, if you start your turn at this location, bury a weapon or armor. Okay, we don't have any weapons or armor in our hand. Then you may succeed at a Constitution, Fortitude, Intelligence, or Craft 7 check to banish this card. Well, we don't have Constitution or Fortitude. It's just D6. Intelligence is D6. And Craft 7. Nope, don't have any craft. So there's actually no way we can get rid of the alchemical gas. I mean, the good news is that it just eats up armor and weapons. Okay, so we are going to cast a Sands of Time spell just for the fun of it. Then what we're going to do is we are going to do our exploration. Hey, and how about that? Pretty sweet. So we still need to defeat this villain, Intelligence Knowledge. Discard to add 1 die to any check. So we have the Blessing of Pharasma. So the unfortunate thing is that Drelm only has D6s in Intelligence or Knowledge or Charisma Diplomacy. So it's an auto fail. She escapes. We automatically have the Curse of Fevered Dreams. So that is going to be the end of this scenario. So what's going to happen is that Drelm, let's see, did he, doing a quick deck check here, he did like gain a burglar's buckler, which he might keep for this scenario, but he will have to go back to the Scorched Obelisk, and he will have to try to defeat this villain all over again. I mean, the good news is that he did not get destroyed. So he's going to have to go through the adventure again until he gets a combination where he has the Hand of the Honest Man and, for example, a Blessing, because then he's going to be able to add a die to his Charisma check and add a die there. So he'll have a chance of 3d6 in order to roll that 14. So pretty much, he has the cards that will allow him to succeed. I mean, he also has the Speak with the Dead spell, but that's kind of situational. He has to defeat a monster first. It says when a character at your location defeats a monster, display this card. So I think it's a when effect. It's a kind of a timing thing. Otherwise, he may have been able to use Speak with the Dead earlier. But as it is, Drelm will have to go back to the Scorched Obelisk and try to defeat the villain all over again. He was not successful. Alright, so that was quite an interesting and definitely a challenging adventure. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will be replaying this adventure for the next scenario until we are able to clear this level. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll have another adventure up shortly.